be as efficient as you want. And you can stretch your mind only so much, right? So mindfulness, in this case, can act as a way for you to train your mind to work longer and faster and more efficiently by training it. And mindfulness over here is being associated with an exercise. It's a training pattern. It's a regimen in which you, by doing what, you can basically train your mind to work longer, stronger, faster, and more efficiently. And decreasing stress is obviously something that would help you in doing that. There's also lots of studies that will correlate stressful work environments to bad or low efficiency. It's in many cases can be life-threatening. So the life-threatening example, I'll rattle out an example. So I'm thinking back in Bombay. So drivers of local buses are considered to be the most stressful people in the city and have the most stressful job. It doesn't seem like it's a stressful job. You're just driving a bus from point A to point B. But the stress is because of the fact that they have to like reach these deadlines and keep the bus reaching at 2:49, even if there is like traffic jams that is impossible, that you cannot maneuver. But the stress in such certain cases, or in this case in particular, is so high that on average you have 2 or 3 bus drivers get heart attacks. And these guys are 26. Whoa. So yeah, I'm not even making this up. So stress is really life-threatening, because imagine you're riding a bus and this guy gets a heart attack and you're still in that bus. So you can have that bus crash and so on and so forth. So the BST, which is the corporation that hosts or conducts well, is the governing body for local buses in Bombay, will have monthly seminars where they force these bus conductors to meditate, because that is the best way to decrease stress for them. And the productivity in the work environment, again, stressful work environment is not always positive for everyone. There's many cases and many situations where stress is going to decrease your efficiency. Even if you can pull through, you just won't be the best version of you. And I can attest to that as well. Like a lot of times, even hackathons, you want to like pitch at 9 a.m. or whenever the hackathon ends. Usually it's 9 a.m. and 10 o'clock is when you like submit your thing, and 11 o'clock you pitch. Once it's like 8:30, 8:35, even simple tasks, even simple for loops seem to get very hard, because you just cannot think straight. You're stressed about finishing all these tasks. You're stressed about pitching. You're stressed about the competition, and stress is obviously a deterrent to success. So over here, I'm grabbing out a few things that WebMD said stress management, where it's writing, letting your feelings. I really wanted to use smart art because no one uses it, but I just wanted to use smart art. But so writing, letting your feelings out, and doing something you enjoy are some of the things that WebMD suggests. Or even if you look at the RPI handbook, those are like items that they'd suggest. And they're pretty common sense. Like, I feel like all of us have a sense of how to deal with our stress, and we all have different things. For me, I like to go to the gym or play soccer. I guess for Devin, it's playing chess or like yelling at people. I'm not sure.
Not yelling at people.
One okay. So it's different for different people, and I believe intelligent individuals recognize that on their own. And meditation is another aspect, which is also mentioned in WebMD and different researches. I think that's incorrect. It should be replaced with mindfulness, because meditation is really an exercise. It's like saying lifting dumbbells is going to the gym. That's not correct, right? When you go to the gym, there's a wide variety of exercises you can do that constitute your gymming regimen. But meditation is just like one thing. And I think there should be a segregation between mindfulness and meditation, just because of the way the exercise works and the results that it provides. So just with respect to stress, meditation-based stress reduction is an actual medical acronym that is used when people are trying to use meditation as a method of trying to decrease stress. So another preconceived notion people have about meditation and mindfulness. Let's talk about meditation. And meditation it just happens. It's incorrect. So meditation can be equated to, say, an actual exercise. An exercise, when I say, is say you're doing squats in the gym. When you start off, you're not going to go in and squat 225 pounds. Right? You start off low, and then you reach your peak, and you keep working that muscle to reach there. And meditation is a similar attribute. Before we go ahead, how many of you have practiced any kind of meditation ever? All right, so we have some people who practice it, and would you say it's an easy task to do it? Oh, okay, how long do you meditate for? Let's get down to that. In general, how long do you think you meditate for?
I mean, it depends on what the situation is, but more if there is not as much of like the time pressure, like 45 minutes or so.
Do you do it on a everyday basis?
Not every day. That's like
Okay.
that's like on like once a week.
Okay,
So,
but do you practice? Does anyone practice meditation every day?
So I used to, and I did it for like consecutively, every daily for like I think it was 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, Devin.
Yeah, so it can vary, like on average, probably between like 45 and an hour and a half. But in some particular cases, like if there's something I actually need to think about 6 hours.
You meditate for 6 hours in a stretch? Yeah.
Dude, is that like not thinking for 6 hours? Like, what is meditation?
No, you can focus. Some people say it's like this whole empty your mind stuff.
We can discuss
Yeah,
it
there's a
later. I
variety.
have a section on that as well. But I was so again, meditation. Let's speak about mindfulness. I'm just curious about exercises you do to get to that state of mindfulness. And 6 hours, that's great. But in any of these exercises that you've done, like when you started off, it wasn't just 45 minutes straight, right, or 10 minutes straight, right? Because you notice that you're constantly thinking about things. There's a lot of noise in there, and I'm just trying to bring to light that it's an actual exercise and not just sit down and happiness, right? And then a few other points that I've mentioned on the internet to kind of explain what mindfulness is, helps you control your mind and emotions. I feel like we all know this, but just want to rehash that point. Wellness. So I think we should associate wellness with a little bit of biohacking. So like I mentioned before earlier during the presentation, that when you meditate, you are trying to increase the efficiency that you can provide with your whole mindset. Further ahead.
I'm wondering what is meditation by your definition with all these facts? Like, what are they citing meditation to be? Is it prayer? Is it entering your mind, emptying your mind? To not be thinking about anything?
Good question.
What
So-
is meditation?
Oh, wait, Dan's online.
These results.
So I think meditation is really a very broad example, and depending on what kind of query you put on Google, you'll get a different answer.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to separate meditation and mindfulness. But if I had to decompose meditation as an exercise, it would be the act of gaining control of your thoughts and minds, and that could imply emptying your mind and not thinking about anything, which is again a method in which you're controlling your mind. Or it could be a method, or it could be another method where you're letting all your thoughts in, you're just accepting all of your thoughts, and that is also a method of accepting a stream of consciousness. So the two meditation definitions that I defined can be classified as two different techniques. One is transcendental meditation, the other one is just regular acceptance meditation.
Yeah.
We can speak about the techniques later, but
Is that what the study was? Is that first fact? Is that what they did?
so okay. So when I post this deck to the slide.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that. More of that.
Alright, so when I post this deck, I'll also post links to all the research articles I used.
Let's stand.
Oh yeah, so when I post this deck, I'll have links to this research papers as well. So the first point that I mentioned here is based on a Harvard University research paper that was published in 2008, I assume. I'm not sorry, not assume, I think. My memory is slipping. I think it was a proper clinical study done with psychology students which was a joint study between Mass General and Harvard University. And the core things that they learned was that within 30 days, all these participants practiced meditation for 25 days. And meditation within this study was defined as a set of exercises and practices that help you carry a stream of thought. And that was like what the paper suggested. It was a clinical psychology paper published. And for all these 16 participants, there was change in brain activity within the 30 days that they had practiced meditation. And the conclusion of that study was that the brain is, at least the material the brain's made of, the gray matter, it's plastic enough such that it actually restructures itself when you practice some kind of meditative exercise on a regular basis for a long time. And I think the exercise lasted for 8 weeks. So they kept measuring 16 people for 8 weeks, practicing some kind of meditation exercise on a regular daily basis. And another thing that they learned was, did I mention the amygdala? The amygdala is a section of the brain that's kind of controlling your stress. It's very high level. That's what it. For this slide, that's what the amygdala's importance is. It does a lot more things, which I'm not I don't know enough about to tell you. But for the context of this slide, the amygdala is related to stress. More gray matter implies more stress. Less gray matter implies less stress.
Do you remember how long they were doing their meditation training for those 8 weeks?
25 minutes average.
Every day?
Yes. 25 minutes average every day. That's cool. And then, of course, it helps you be a happy Jedi, right? The attention span, again, is going back to the point of trying to increase efficiency. If you have more attention, if you have more focus, you can absorb more information and perform more effectively in whatever kind of job you do. Oh, look at that. What's up, Jordan?
Woo! Hey, Jordan. How's it going, man?
Right. Okay. So confused.
You guys do a courtesy and mute yourself.
Honestly, what it sounds like.
I think we're good.
Okay. So this slide I want to focus on what wellness means to me. The inner voice, the example that I given. So I've been practicing meditation as in a very disciplined manner, maybe sometimes starting earlier this spring. Before that, I just do it because well, actually maybe I should go through my story in the whole meditation and then why I'm here. So my grandmother is really into meditation, but as a child I didn't give a shit because it doesn't make any sense. But when I was in 3rd grade, I was sent to, so the Art of Living is this meditation center in India where a lot of, their whole goal is to provide this mindfulness exercises where you spend maybe a few hours of your day trying to meditate, being one with nature. They have a lot of exercises that kind of provide impetus for this. And the meditation exercise that institute provided was Vipassana meditation, which is now popular enough that even in the US you can take part in that exercise. But my grandmother made me do this when I was in 3rd grade. So for 1 week, I meditated for 3 hours a day. This is 3rd grade me, so it wasn't as fun as you think. I went to this hillside place with just priests everywhere, and it was a very peaceful place. It was definitely a very. I thought I got a little more stressed during that time because 3rd grade student asked to do nothing. So it's pretty challenging when you your goal is to sit at one place for a long extended period of time, and you're struggling to understand why that's happening. So that was how I got introduced to meditation in general, because of my 1 week course. After that, my grandmother keeps coercing me to keep practicing this because she really believes in it. But I don't think I really followed any of this until I came to college, because I guess I never really felt stressed in school or high school. So I really didn't look for tools to help me control it or get better. But when I came to college, I started reading more actual clinical psychology studies and so on and so forth to get a sense of what meditation is in real world terms. And that's why I started focusing more on it. So the point that I say it helps me control my inner voice, it's more pointing to the fact that I don't know how it works for you guys, but in general, if I'm just sitting silently, I tend to zone out and just keep thinking about something. Or daydream, as you call it. That's actually deterrent to efficiency. If you're in class and you daydream, maybe it's something cool that you're thinking about, but that's not what you're there to do. And if you consciously try not to do it, it's pretty hard. I even today sometimes I'll struggle with it. I'll be in class and I just like zone out from what the professor's talking about, or if I'm having a conversation and it's just not something that I'm very engrossed in, I will zone out. But it's decreased a lot now, and I attribute that to meditation exercises. Helps me focus in the gym. Yeah, that's definitely true. So I tried doing this regimen where before I go to the gym, I'd 30 minutes before going to the gym, I'd meditate and then go for like a full body exercise, and it helps me push myself harder. It's minimal, and slowly over time, I think it helped me push myself more. But I definitely attribute meditation to helping me focus in the gym. To fall asleep. How many over here have some kind of insomnia issue? I feel like the guild is like a good place to like ask this question and not get judged. Insomnia?
Nope.
Yeah, definitely is something.
I'm not saying insomnia, as in like, so you fall asleep, you're lying on your bed, like, can you just fall asleep? Do you guys have
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
That's awesome. I can fall asleep before I hit the bed. That was exciting.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
wait, was this because of your meditation, or you're just good at it, you just fall asleep immediately?
No, sometimes it's hard to fall asleep and sometimes I can't. But sometimes, like, if I have been on an extra grind, like, I can fall asleep standing up.
Well, Devin here is just the outlier, so,
Sleep deprivation is a great tool to help you fall asleep.
yeah. Sleep deprivation.
Is there anything that can sleep deprivation solve everything that meditation can? Or I don't know.
You tell me, Savi, you face that every day. Like, do you feel happy and energized after your 16 hours of ML and 16 hours of signals?
Okay.
So personally, meditation has helped me like decrease that time. So I have this issue where like if I'm lying on the bed and I haven't worked hard enough, like I haven't grinded hard enough, which is like pretty hard. Like this happens a lot after hackathons, where I work like 36 hours and then I come back to regular school and I'm not pushing myself as hard as I did the previous week or weekend, and I can't fall asleep because my body is not tired enough. That's how I think it works, and meditation helps you calm down, and at least helps me calm down and fall asleep more quickly. And I definitely associate that to better wellness, because there's lots of studies to correlate like better sleep to better like working structure, and even when you're trying to learn a particularly challenging theory, you probably heard this where you just sleep on it, right? Where, because your unconscious mind is actually working in the background for you to like get a sense of concepts that you've been trying to think about, and that's why I attribute a lot of importance to sleep. Like, sure, like finishing your work is important, but like if I want to solve a challenging problem, I think sleep is a very important tool because of the unconscious mind working in the background, and meditation is helping me do that. So this part's the mental capital, and I've been following meditation and mindfulness within the DC area for some time now because of a few talks that I've heard before. So I'm not sure. So I think it's come into the limelight now because of all the pros and cons that a lot of research papers are proving because of this mindfulness, and it's just coming off. It's branching out into a small section where a lot of mobile applications are coming up with ideas to kind of assist you in meditating. I'm not sure how useful or not they are, but they are raking in a lot of money. So Pause by Us Too is like a simple iOS application, but Us Too is a company that raised like 2.6 million in venture capital for like one app where you touch a particular spot on the screen for long enough and the bubble grows big. But they correlated that to like ECG variables to say that by touching that bubble and growing it big enough, you're actually like reaching a meditative state. So mindfulness is obviously like, I don't think any app is going to get 2.4 million for a bubble growing big, but they could prove it. So it's kind of a correlation to saying that mindfulness is getting importance within that field. Calm is another iOS application. Raising $1 million because it has a bunch of meditative exercises listed, and you can follow them to reach like a meditative state. Again, the app seems really simple and trivial, right? You can Google a bunch of stuff about meditation, dump it into an app, and these guys raise $1 million doing that. It's again trying to force or focus on the fact that mindfulness is gaining more importance within that VC firm or VC culture. The Muse headband. I'm sure all of us have seen the Muse headband at hackathons, right? Have you guys seen the Muse? No? You've seen the news headline, right? So it's like this new tool that a lot of hackathons use as a mode of using that for your connective application for embedded systems. But if you go to the Muse website, they're selling their headset as a meditative assistant. They're not selling it as anything else. They have APIs to like do like control lights and all of that. But you go to their website, the Muse will tell you it's a meditative assistant. So it's definitely a compelling reason for people to create and develop hardware for. If you check Kickstarter now, I can challenge you. You'll find at least 3 separate like meditative assistant headsets doing some kind of ECG monitoring to provide a better meditative state. The Outer Living Foundation, it's based in India. I think the foundation in general at least has like 50 million in the bank. But this is all because its followers believe that meditation is actually useful. And this foundation does a lot of things internationally to provide help. So like when the Syria crisis happened, this foundation provided money and so on and so forth. Even the Beatles, when the Beatles were hit, well, I don't know how much the Beatles focused on mindfulness other than just being hippies. But they did definitely get this field into the limelight a little more. And the foundation that they were following also does a lot of charitable work. But the foundation also raised a lot of money because of its stress, because of the foundation's core goal of promoting meditation. Another foundation that's very famous for promoting meditation is the Dalai Lama's Foundation. It's actually, I think it's the HH Dalai Lama's Foundation. And it's got a lot of important people on the board of that foundation. To name a few, Michael McCullough, I'm not sure if any of you know who he is. Cool, so he's a famous ER doctor who's the founder of Questbridge, which is a startup that focuses on providing, they provide money for people to go to college in a very high level format. So they provide this whole application process where low income students can get more money to go to colleges. So they're trying to privatize this whole giving scholarships platform. But essentially, it's a startup that's co-founded by Reid Hoffman as well. But nevertheless, the thing I was trying to prove over here was that a lot of very important Silicon Valley entrepreneurs are also very focused on meditation, and that's why they're on the board of a lot of these foundations as well. And the Dalai Lama's Foundation is just an example. Cool, so techniques. So these are 4 of the most commonly spoken about techniques you hear about meditation. Transcendental meditation is the one the Beatles made famous. It's not as cool as it sounds. Literally, transcendental meditation is that stream where you empty your mind. It is that exercise where you're supposed to not think about something. You're supposed to focus on your breathing. And only focus on your breathing, and the whole duration of your exercise should be you focusing only on your breathing and emptying your mind. And that is constitutive transcendental meditation. The only addition to that is you usually use some kind of phrase to help you as your guiding light throughout your whole exercise. And that's where the word Om became famous, because the institute where the Beatles were learning about this was in India, where Om is a very commonly used term. I'm sure other cultures have other words that they use as their guiding light word if they practice transcendental meditation, because they use that word as some kind of hook to help you stay focused. Then there's Vipassana, which is like the hardcore meditation. When I say hardcore, like you're supposed to, like the Vipassana meditation practice is you practicing this for like 3 hours a day. And this exercise is not solely focused on the meditation action, it also focuses on your eating habits. So like, if you are practicing the Vipassana meditation, you will not be eating meat, you will not be eating, you will not be killing anything. These are the core values. When I say killing anything, like say eating things that are grown under the ground, so potatoes, because it has more bacteria. So it has a few learnings associated with the whole exercise, and it's a much more involved exercise. I think you can do a Vipassana training in New York actually, somewhere in Latham, I'm not sure. But you're supposed to like give 15 days of your time to this exercise, and it's pretty hardcore. Like you do this 3 hours a day, you give up like all worldly possessions, and it's supposed to be. I've spoken to people who've done this exercise, and they think it's an eye-opening experience, and they've come out with a positive outlook on the exercise. but it's definitely hardcore. I call it a boot camp for meditation. Then the art of living technique. So the transcendental meditation focuses on one person sitting in one place and then focusing on maybe one word and clearing your mind and just practicing breathing techniques. This art of living has a few actual physical exercises associated with the meditation. So I think one of the courses involves you going through 3 exercises. The first exercise is you doing some kind of overhead press kind of exercise, and there's a reasoning behind it where they're saying that when you take a deep breath in and then you use your energy and you like exhale, you're trying to get rid of negative energy. This is again from their website. It's very abstract, but it's still not just sitting there. It's an actual physical exercise. I think the second round of this whole exercise regimen involves you fluctuating your breathing in order to get a sense of how you're breathing. And the third one is again, I think it involves you saying particular, like using transcendental meditation in that third round of your whole meditation regimen. And then yoga is again getting famous, but a few exercises within yoga are associated with mindfulness, and that whole group or branch is called the pranayama branch, which focuses on breathing techniques that provides a better result than mindfulness. So, before I go ahead, these are some of the techniques I know of. So, Devin, would you like to share your technique?
Sure. So obviously, like, there's one where you just sit down and you have to like relax and think. But some of these people have this more like, focus on clearing your mindfulness. And I usually have like one methodology of when I'm trying to meditate myself. Because part of being a Jedi is being fueled by passion. And I think that coming around profoundness and true passion is quite difficult. I almost find it like a liquid. It's very finite, right? And I need to like refill my passion because otherwise it just dwindles away unless I focus on it. So sometimes what I will do is either internally, I would say, I have like 2 forms of motivating myself. One is in finding internal passion, and the other is finding external passion. I would typically find internal passion by, just relaxing in my own space, alone, and just thinking about, who I am, what I want. And I usually find external passion through an interestingly different technique. It works best at night or a cold place. I like big cities. If I'm able to do it in a big city, it's great, but Troy kind of sucks.
It's a small city.
Yeah, so essentially what I like to do is just go outside and just walk somewhere. And just, fully take in my surroundings. Just like absorb all my senses. Don't even process it. Just allow to just like keep soaking in. Don't even bother processing it. And I find that relaxing, and I kind of feel more connected with the people around me and what I see. Those are my 2 main.
Sounds awesome.
Cool, yeah. So the second one that explained, if you were to go to like a mind coach, they'll call this technique the accepting your surroundings. They have like a long English acronym, but essentially it's what Devin mentioned, but where along with accepting your surroundings, you also sit down and you accept all the feelings you're feeling. If you're feeling sad, you're feeling happy, you just accept it. And that is another technique for meditation. Anyone else have any other techniques that they've practiced other than these, which help you get mindfulness?
Yeah, so what is it called? So this isn't really mindfulness per se, it's more happiness for me, but like it can be mindfulness,
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, but.
You're very abstract.
Yeah. So like, so it's an idea of like mind training. So this is by, it's a TED Talk if you guys have seen it. It's by a Buddhist monk.
Mm-hmm.
His name's like Matthew Richard or something. But basically what he says is that you can condition happiness over any of your other feelings. So basically what you do is every time you're like pissed off, you just think I'm happy. And you come back to that, state of, happiness, and you keep doing that enough, enough times that, when someone, you don't like, if you go back to the mindfulness of being happy, it just, outwardly looks happy. You know, every time you feel bad, you know, you pull yourself together and be happy. So it's pretty interesting, but basically it's just mind training, mind conditioning, and you know, conditioning of happiness. And it's interesting because you can also, you know, incorporate that into other things. Like, so a wise man in this room once pulled up his laptop and he was writing something. And I was like, "What are you writing?" And basically, he's like, 3 things. Every single day, I write 3 things about what made me happy. You know, every single day, no matter, you know, even if it's like a shitty day, you come up with 3 different things that made you happy. You write it down in your little journal, or whatever. John showed me this actually when we were on co-op. But basically, you know, you can take like a journal or like a Word document or whatever. You write down 3 things, just small little, you know, 3 sentences, and you keep writing them. And I've done this for like 2 years now. And you know, every time I feel like shit, you know, I'll go back to one of my old journals and I'll read through it. You know, all the small little details, like that one time that you were at that restaurant with your coworkers and you had to get, you know, whatever. Like you don't remember those little things, and you know, to me, sometimes the little things are what really matter. So like, I don't know. I always, every single day, I try to go back to my room and you know, just read that journal and write down 3 little things. So thank you, John. I appreciate that. It's just my little peace of mind that John helped me, you know. So I encourage you all to do the same, you know, because I feel like it's been very helpful so far for me.
Definitely think that's a very great idea. I also think it definitely works because I've never seen Ray not happy. Like, Ray's like a bundle of joy every day. It's annoying. Not it's like Ray has no downers. I'm sure this exercise works.
Yeah, one method that I used when I first came to school, basically I had like 10 goals that I want, like personal development goals that I want to achieve, things that are intangible, right? Like smiling more, or like being friendly to kind strangers, or being friendly to people that you know. So I took like post-it notes, cut them up into little small bits, and then each day I would just pick a random one and I would stick it on the back of my phone. So I know I would see it all the time, right? So then every so often I would see it, and then it would kind of like ground me, like reference like how I'm feeling right now to like who I want to be. So it was like a visualization tool to like help me to see, like, I know this is the mode I default to, but I want to get to a higher level. So like, how can I reconcile that?
These are the things like, so in general I just go through a 10-minute meditation process, and and then after I do 2 minutes of breathing exercises. Again, I just follow a regular method of just absorbing whatever I see or hear. I make it a point to sit down in one place, close my eyes, and there is like an appreciable difference where you can like actually feel relaxation, and I go for that. I keep working till I reach there, and throughout this whole exercise I'll like close my eyes and not think about anything. Every 2 weeks I'll go 30 to 40-minute exercise. That's usually, I still find it a little hard to just go to like 45 to 50 minutes with the exercise regimen that I've chosen of just I think my exercise is more of a mixture of the art of living exercise, breathing technique, and the yoga breathing technique. But it is a very disciplined technique, so in order to do that for 40 minutes, I need to like stay disciplined. I can't like not I can't delve away from the discipline that is defined within those exercises. And I'm trying to reach like maybe if I could do like an hour or 2 hours of that disciplined exercise, I'd probably feel more content. So I guess we've already discussed a lot of the techniques that we probably have our smaller own techniques to kind of achieve mindfulness. Other than that, what other techniques do you guys use to decrease or use stress in a positive manner? Subject.
Play video games and
Yeah.
games. And just like, I make sure like, a lot of people are like, you know, oh, I play video games when I don't have any work, but for me it's like I have to balance all my work. And like, sometimes video games have to take precedence over work because it's like mock-ups that some of you might know about, but like, I'm putting them off, like, I'm not doing them until this weekend because I needed today to just do nothing. And like, the fact that offices got canceled was the biggest help in the world. Yesterday was super stressful, and like, I need to do relaxing things, or else I just like, get really, really bad as far as like mental health. So, it's like, RPI teaches by force, and I learned very slowly over my freshman year that it's completely unhealthy for me to say, I have so much work that I can't stop, I can't relax, because otherwise it just gets real bad. And I can book myself to the brim, but I still have to make sure that I'm spacing everything out, otherwise I'm just going to get real bad.
That makes sense. Is that Drake sweater? Yeah.
I love it.
I was just like, cool. So Sammy seems to have a pretty heavy semester, so what do you do to like balance it?
I don't know if I get stressed. I don't know. It's
So what do you do? Like, do you have like a journal like Ray, or you born with it? Like,
I just pull an all-nighter until I feel really silly, and then everything's funny. And then it doesn't matter.
right?
You just gotta get into that fucking mood, you know? Like, and then,
I feel like Jordan has something to say.
Jordan will.
He's laughing at him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oops.
Do you have anything to share?
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one of the coolest things, maybe the only thing I really learned from Kurt Swarzy that I liked, he was just an absolute fanatic about notebooks. I don't know anyone who was more like actually like stick to it as far as notebooks goes he was. And I don't know, I don't really do it to the extent he did it, but I do keep like a commonplace notebook of fun stuff I see. And it's really funny to just scroll through because I've kept it since like 6th grade or so. And like, I don't edit anything once I write it. So just scrolling through and seeing like what I was thinking at the time is always kind of fun. Now, I'm kind of lazy so I don't add to it very often, but it's neat when I do to just go look back on it. But I'm a huge proponent of, doing that just because it's fun to see how you change like thinking styles over time.
Yeah.
Who was that you said?
Kurt Swarzy, was he like the PI professor?
He was.
Yeah.
Amazing. I know you good.
Oh yeah, is he one of them? Who's he not?
He was the PI.
Okay, so I did hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I heard him.
Yeah, I've been keeping
What do you do? Do you play board games or
Like for
relax and like increase efficiency?
to relax, it's usually I have to do something that doesn't require any focus at all. So like when I need to do that, I will watch like a movie or something like that, and just sort of like just dump and just like not use my brain, and then after that I go back and work much better. So that's usually how I work.
So what about you, Jackson? I feel like you probably done it much less than all of us.
I just remind myself that I have a family to feed, so.
Has to be.
Sometimes if I need focus, I like those places where it's a little bit crowded, not crowded, like those cafes instead of my office. And put a headset and rank up the volume, then it helps me focus and do work. Instead of myself in my office.
Oh, it's kind of like people are judging you if you're not doing your work.
I don't know, it's about peer pressure or whatever, but yeah, it just helps me focus. It's like kind of weird if I go there and I don't do anything. And
Right.
Really, helps me focus on the work. And for happiness, it's not a joke. I mean, whenever I think of my wife, it can bring me happy. So.
That makes sense. I think, just remember what Rocco told me once. I think Rocco travels and he has to, like, when he wants to de-stress. Well, like, Rocco literally, like, leaves this city and goes to some other city.
Or the country.
Other country.
So, it's like, fuck that whole America thing. I'm done with it. At least for this week.
At least for this week. I'll tell you the $200 week that he spent, like, going through, like, 7 different countries or something crazy. But essentially, everyone has their own technique, and everyone, and all these techniques lead to mindfulness. So I'm trying to decompose and differentiate meditation and mindfulness as the only correlation. There's lots of activities that you can do in order to like reach that. And that was kind of the goal of my fireside chat, to have some kind of conversation to see if we're all trying to exercise our mind in some way and provide some kind of relaxation. And we're not just constantly grinding through